Good evening and welcome to Housing Issues. This episode will be talked about Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago. We're a non-for-profit housing organization where we help people buy, fix, and keep their home. We've been in business for over 35 years, a pretty long time. Today I have two guests and we're going to be talking about some very interesting programs and things going on in the city. First, I want to tell you a little bit more about NHS. I want you to know that we buy, fix, and keep homes in the Chicagoland area. You can feel free to call us about more information at 773-329-4010. So we help people who want to purchase rehab, want to buy a home and it needs to have some work done. You want to purchase a home and you're a first-time home buyer. We have classes. We have many resources available to you. But for the sake of time, I'm not going to talk too long. I will come back at the end and give you some numbers, but I want to begin to talk to our guests. First, I want to make an announcement. Last month on the show, I brought you a warning and some good news. Today, I'm going to give you the warning again, the good news, and then we're going to go into the options. The warning is that as of December 31st, 2016, the programs that the government have, the HOFA, the HAMP, I can pick it up just that quick, and the HARP will end. They will no longer be. Now that doesn't mean you won't be able to get your property modified. It just means that you won't be able to go through the government programs. So that made it a little easier in order to get that help. So remember, the HARP, the HAMP, and the HOFA will end December 31st. And now let me give you some good news. The Hardest Hit Fund is coming back. It should start in Chicago in October. So be looking for it. Maybe something in the paper. You can always call NHS and ask us if the program has started, if you know someone that might need Hardest Hit Fund help. Not quite sure what the criteria is going to be, but the money will be available. And now we want to talk about some of the options. One of the things that we've been doing at NHS is working on options in the communities around the city of Chicago, helping to restabilize the communities and get reinvestment in the communities. And one of the programs that we've been working with is called Renew Woodlawn. And I am so excited today to have as my guest Ms. Paula Grant, who is the young lady who's over that program. So I want to just take you through this. This is Renewing Woodlawn. Home buyers can get down payment assistance, right, Paula?
That's correct.
Of $15,000 if they qualify. That's a lot of money, $15,000. And the guidelines, and I'm quite sure Paula will talk about this a little bit more too, are the property must be a 1 to 4 unit, the property must be owner occupied, the property must be located in the Woodlawn community, and Paula's going to tell you what the boundaries are of the in the Woodlawn area, so you know just where to be looking. And I'm going to turn this over to Paula because this is what she does.
Well, thanks, Bathsheba.
No problem.
And I'm glad to be here to talk about the Renew Woodlawn Homeownership Program. It's a program that was implemented by the government through Preservation of Affordable Housing, POA.
Okay.
And NHS was selected to actually implement and run this program. And we also work in conjunction with Community Investment Corporation,
okay. CIC. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so with this program, one of the things, you will automatically get a $15,000 buyer incentive as long as you purchase within the Woodlawn community.
You wouldn't say that again.
And so you will automatically get a $15,000 buyer's incentive if you purchase within the Woodlawn community, as long as the subsidies are available. So it's first come, first serve.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. And also then there's other funding too that could possibly be acquired, which can be up to $75,000.
So that would come like from layering. Say for instance, if you work for an institution that had incentives for their employees to purchase. So if they gave $10,000 and then they got the $15,000, then that would be $25,000 that the buyer would have to put on the property, on the down payment and closing costs? Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's correct. But then there's also money if the property is within the West Woodlawn Micro Market Recovery Program, and as long as they have funding, that could be one of the funds, which is up to $15,000.
Okay.
Then choice, if the person, which is the federal government's funding that they are giving, a person could get an affordability gap money, but you have to actually have a property, a contract on a property before we determine that amount, because then we need to know if you would actually need that. It would help you to bring down your debt to income ratios, and then we also have appraisal gap money. And so, but most properties might not have an appraisal gap. But if it does, say for example, if the property is appraised at $100,000, but it needs, to purchase and rehab the property, you might need $120,000. So you could qualify for an appraisal gap.
That would be that extra 20.
That would be that extra 20.
That would be that extra 20.
And so, and that's for people that are at 120% AMI. And what that means is a family of 4 can make approximately $93,000 or under, and they would qualify at 120%.
And that's the average medium income according to the government.
Right.
That's what AMI means. That's so you can understand what the acronym means. AMI.
Right. And then a one-person household could make approximately $64,000 or under. So those are pretty lucrative, sums. And so the money could definitely help, get a homeowner into the Woodlawn area. You could purchase a 1 to 4 unit property. It must be owner occupied. You must also take a home buyer's education, an 8-hour HUD certified class, and which NHS is one of the agencies that offer that. But then there's a list on the a government's website if you'd like to look at others. We also have classes right in the Woodlawn area held at the Woodlawn Resource Center bi-monthly. So we're actually going to have our next class on August 6th and August 13th. They will be in 4-hour increments, 10 to 2. And you could go on our website, and I know Bashir
on the NHS website
about that.
Yeah, this is our website. The NHS website is where you can go and you can register for the class. This is our wonderful website. It looks so nice, and it's very user friendly. You can just go and where it says "Learn," that would be where you would click, and it'll drop down. It says resources.
I think it's actually under the buy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go to buy.
So go to buy, and then home buyer education, the first one, the top one.
Okay.
And then you go to the right where it says sign up in the blue, the second tab.
Right. Okay.
And then once you press that tab, there will be a schedule. I have had some people go as far as Elgin to take a class, but we do have a class that's held bi-monthly in the Woodlawn Resource Center, which is located at 6144 South Cottage Grove.
And it'll be on this calendar, so they can go here and see what class they might be able to take advantage of.
Right.
Okay, well that's great. Let me ask you to do this. Talk about a little bit more about the criteria. I know if they get this money, don't they have to? Isn't there something that they have to do in order to not have to pay it back?
Oh, yes. What happens is the person has to stay in the, day 1 of the 6th year, you're forgiven totally for the grants.
Okay.
So, for example, if you only stay there for 2 years, you're forgiven for, it's actually prorated. So, but on day 1 of the 6th year, you're 100% forgiven for these particular grants. And one of the things, the properties, if you use the choice money, you must maintain that even when you sell it, it has to be sold to someone at 120% AMI.
Oh, okay.
And that's for a 20-year period. And this is to keep the actual property affordable. I know sometimes people will say that, you're pushing the prices up in a particular neighborhood. Well, what happens is if the choice money is used for this particular program, those properties will always be affordable for at least 20 years.
Oh, that's good. It helps to stabilize the community.
That's true.
Now, say for instance, if someone got in the property and after 4 years they decided they want to move, would they then have to pay the remainder of what they would have owed on the loan? Is that what it is?
No, what happens is, so say for instance you're given $50,000.
Okay.
Let's say 40 to make it easy. So every year, well, even 50,000. Let's use 50. So at the end of the 4th or beginning the 5th year, that day 1, you would be forgiven 40,000. So then you would still then owe $10,000.
Okay.
And so that would be when you're selling your property. What would happen is you would actually have to pay off that $10,000.
Right. Now, would you be so kind as to give people your contact information?
Yes, I can be reached at 2 ways. One, the email, which is renewwoodlawn@nhschicago.org. I also can be reached at 773-329-4106 is my office number. Again, the website is renewwoodlawn@nhschicago.org.
I'm going to see if I can get it on the screen here. Is it, do I have it upside down? Let me turn it around. Okay, here we go. 773-329-4106 or renewwoodlawn@nhschicago.org. I'm going to let it sit there for a few minutes in case you didn't have a pencil and you need to go get one, because this is important. And remember, we always say, if you can use this information, share it with somebody else. Be a blessing, for lack of a better term, to somebody else. So again, you can reach Paula at 773-329-4106 or at renewwoodlawn@nhschicago.org. You have anything else you feel that you need to share?
Well, I'd like to say that Woodlawn is a great neighborhood. It's definitely being revitalized, and I would love to help you to be a part of the revitalization and help you obtain your dream home.
Now, I know at one time that area was like a food desert, but I know they put the Aldi's on South Cottage Grove. Aren't they building the Mariano's over there?
Well, they're trying.
Okay.
But what happened, Mariano's was actually bought out by Kroger's in December of 2015.
Okay.
So they are currently trying to negotiate that, and if it's not Mariano's, they are definitely looking to get
some kind of
type of
fresh
larger
food and vegetables back in the community so that the people can benefit from that.
Yes, and then also, Woodlawn is right next door to the University of Chicago.
Right next door.
There's a squash center for children at 61st and Cottage Grove. There's also the Obama Library is going to be next door.
Not far.
Whether it's Woodlawn or Jackson Park,
Right.
or Washington Park or Jackson Park. And it's just a great neighborhood. There's lots of 2-flat buildings, so you could actually purchase a building and actually make it and convert it into a single-family home,
Right.
or you could take
Get
it
income.
in duplex of maybe the first floor and the lower level, and rent the top floor, so that would be income for you.
Right.
And with this program, you can actually purchase a 1 to 4 unit property. The boundaries for Woodlawn is 60th on the north, 67th on the south, the lake on the east, and King Drive on the west. And then there's also a small portion near South Chicago Avenue that goes from 67th to 71st, and that's between Cottage and King Drive. So it's a large area. And as I said, there's all types of housing there. There's new housing, there's older housing, there's 2 flats, there's lots of larger buildings, there's new...
Some Greystones over in there too, aren't there?
Yeah.
I know there used to be some Greystones over there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Paula. I'm going to put your information up here again so that the people can write it down. Again, that's 773-329-4106. at renewwoodlawn@nhschicago.org. I want to thank Paula for being my guest today. I look forward to working with her. I have worked with her on this project before. It's something that I think is going to just be a wonderful thing, bringing back the community, revitalizing it, pushing new energy in it, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much, Paula, for being on the show today. I'm going to put this up again so you can see it.
Thank you.
I transition to my next
today.
guest. Thank you so much. We at Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago are just so busy. We're involved in so many things, but one of the things that we do that I'm real excited about is how we collaborate, how we work with other organizations to get what needs to be done. We realize we can't do everything, so we work with other people. So today, my guest is one of those people, Yaron Feldman. Am I pronouncing your name right?
Aran.
Aran. That's it. Filming. And I am excited about having him on the show because what he represents is collaboration. Now, he has a real estate company.
Yes.
He owns a lot of property in Chatham.
Yes.
Okay. But Chatham is also part of our MMRP program.
Yes.
And so in Chatham, while we're working on the housing, your group is working on dispelling myths and bringing people back into the community and seeing the opportunity and possibility. So it's a collaboration showing that we're investing in the housing, we're investing in the people to get the housing, and you're investing in them to see a more stabilized and better community.
Absolutely.
Am I talking too much?
No.
Okay.
No, we're
Okay.
having a dialogue here.
All right,
okay?
well listen, I'm really excited about, I know you're a part of a lot of things.
Yes, I am.
The Southside Community Investors Association.
Yes.
Right? You're a part of the Chatham 2.0 Positive Image Campaign.
Yes.
I saw the shirts say Chatham 2.0, and I was like, what does that mean? Tell the viewers what that means.
Well, so we, just to go back a step or two, when we started working on the Chatham MMRP, we realized that it's not just about housing, but
Right.
the city program, the micro market recovery program, is a great rallying call to get all the different partners in the community, whether it's resident, community organizations, property owners that maybe are not living in the community, business owners, community leaders, get them all in the same room and start talking about how do we change what's going on. And yes, it was very easy to measure. It's very easy to measure crime, and it's very easy to measure housing issues. But we know that there's a lot of other issues, underlying issues that needed to be addressed in order for people to say whether they're renting or whether they're buying that this is the place to be in. This is where I want to have my home. This is where I want to do my shopping, and this is where I want to be day and night. So that allowed us to bring everybody in and start brainstorming on how do we change the perception. And one of the things that the message that we wanted to send out there is that a very simple message of that something new is happening here, but it's not that we're trying to gentrify the community, because that's the biggest fear. We're doing something new for the community, and that's where Chatham 2.0 captures that.
So it's not working from the outside in, but from the inside up.
Absolutely, from the inside up.
Inside up.
And it's all about realizing what are the assets in the community.
Exactly.
Whether it's people, whether it's properties, whether it's businesses. For example, I love having lunch and dinner at Soul Food Vegetarian. I think Paula can attest to that. I've dragged her over there kicking and screaming, but she became a fan. And that's the thing, is like having people realize that there are things to do in the community. There are places to go and have lunch. There are places to go meet people. But we need more, absolutely.
And so with that in mind, you've got 2 events that are coming up that will bring people into the community.
Yes.
And allow them to tour it, for lack of a better term, at their own pace. Because one, I believe, is a bike-a-thon.
It's a bike ride, and it's a bike ride that the whole point of it is not to bike fast, but to actually bike slowly through the community. We did this event last year, and we had 120 people show up. Half of them were from the community, and half of them from outside the community. And there were families there with young kids, and it was a blast. People rode through the community. We had a route. We went through specific spots that we wanted to feature: beautiful buildings, historical landmarks, restaurants, and we did that. We for about 2 hours. And then we ended it on 75th in Indiana, and we allowed people to go experience whether it's brown sugar.
Yes.
Brown sugar?
Yes.
And then 5 loaves, and obviously Soul Food Vegetarian. And that's the point. Like, you get people to experience, and also you get people to do the tourist thing of coming to the
Right.
community and spending time in the community and spending their money.
That they might not otherwise come to
Right.
because of the myths or what they see on the news.
Right.
And the community is always so much deeper than what's reported.
It is, and it's a shame, because the news really leaves the community very short on what the perception is and what can be done in the community. So the bike ride We're repeating the bike ride this weekend.
This Saturday? Is it this Saturday?
This Saturday, July 16th. It's gonna start at 9 o'clock, and we can. Our starting point is going to be at Brown Memorial Park on 85th Street.
85th and Champlain.
And Champlain, thank you.
Yes, no.
So that's going to be our starting point, and then we're going to bike from there. And this year we made a little bit of a change where we're going to bring the vendors to the end point. We're going to start and end at Brown Memorial Park. And at the end of it, there's going to be some food trucks, local food trucks,
okay.
and there's going to be a DJ. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We already have 200 plus people committed, but we can accommodate anybody that shows up. It's going to be a blast.
Well, that sounds great, and I'm glad to hear it. I know this area well. I know what it was, and I can understand how you have the vision of what it can be. And I'm so glad that NHS is a part of that, because we're all about stabilizing the community, helping people with the beautification, and seeing this as somewhere that they can be for the rest of their lives. And so having these type of activities says to people that this might not be as scary a place as they make me think it is.
Right, and I think that look, it's a shame that the narrative that has developed, I think that it leaves the community short on where residents are telling their kids, don't come back, don't come back and leave here, and we all understand the challenges that we're facing, but we also understand that you need to be active and you need to be part of the community in order for things to change. So the push of people outside the community, we want to change that, and we want to prove to people, not just people from the outside, but for the community itself, because there is also a lack of almost
right,
a lack of
isolation.
self-esteem. Sometimes
they've developed their own sense of isolation.
Yes.
And instead of community.
Absolutely.
And so let me just take a moment to tell you about all the communities that are involved in the MMRP. You have Auburn, Gresham, Austin, Belmont, Craig North, and Belmont, Craig South, Chatham, Chicagoland, East Garfield Park, Inglewood, Grand Boulevard, North Pullman, West Humboldt Park, and West Woodlawn. So these are all the areas where the MMRPs are. And let me give you a contact number. If you want to find some information about any of these, you can call 773-329-4209 and tell them you're interested in getting some more information about the MMRP. Now, I understand you're also having a run in Chatham. You're going to ride them, then you're going to run them.
Well, we're going to give people a break. We're going to let them recuperate after the bike ride, the fun bike ride. And then we're going to have a 5K run and a 2K family walk on September 18th. And that's going to start at Cole Park, Net King Cole Park.
Right.
On 85th Street and King Drive, basically.
Yeah.
And it's going to start and end over there. Registration starts at 8 in the morning, and then people start running at 9. And same thing, we're going to have vendors at the end of it, local food trucks and some local music, and we're going to turn it into an event. The route is going to be through 79th Street, up Cottage, coming back on 87th Street, and then back to Cole Park.
Okay, so here's what I need you to share with my viewers. How do they get more information? Is there a contact number? Is there a web?
Well, the best way, the registration is opening up in the next couple of days for the 5K run. You can go to our Facebook page, Chatham Dev Corp. That's THAM, and then DEVCORP. So CHATHAM DEVCORP. That's our Facebook page, and over there you can click on events and either register for the bike ride or register for the 5K run, and just have a blast. Okay,
now let me ask you one more thing before I let you go. What is the short-term goal that you're working on, that you all have, that you might be working on? Is this it? These activities right here is what you're working on now to get people back into the community?
Well, the agenda is much, much broader. I mean, we want to have initiatives, and we're working with the Greater Chatham Initiative also on work and work placement, and there's a social relief to some of the issues.
Okay.
So our goal, we're working with a much broader coalition on achieving a lot of different, or solving a lot of different issues. But
And I think that's really important. Excuse me for
Yeah.
cutting you off. The word collaboration.
Mhm.
I think we don't hear that enough. It's not just one organization, but it's the organizations understanding the need and coming together to figure out what they can do to help take that bite out that elephant.
Right.
Because that's the only way it's really going to work.
Right.
You can't put all the pressure on one agency,
Right.
because one agency can't do it all. But if you can come together and recognize your strengths and your weaknesses and agree to work together, positive things can come from that. I think that's the beauty of the MMRP. I like to think that's the beauty of what we do at NHS. We don't just try to do everything. We try to do what we do best.
Right.
And work with those who also have skills and talent that can help enhance what it is that we do.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I'm so excited about what you all are doing. People can drive by over there and see some of the things. So we've got some art on the wall
Yes.
from different young people, and I'm excited about that too. So I want to thank you for coming in today. You and Paula both have really given out some information that I think people will be interested in. I encourage people to call. You see, it's one thing when you don't know, but when you know, you ought to do something.
Yes.
Share the positive information. We're flooded with negative things.
Absolutely.
But these both are positive programs, and we need to work together to make that happen. Now, again, I want to just let you know we'll be back again next month. But I don't want you to forget that at NHS, we do what? We help you buy, fix, and keep your home. We also have a lending entity where we can help you to get the financing for your home. I can tell you that they do have a 3% down payment program. So there's a lot of things going on. I encourage you to contact NHS 773-329-4010 and just tell them that you're seeking information and tell them what you want the information about, and they will be more than happy to help you. I promise you they will, because that's what we do. We help, we empower, we educate, and we motivate, because we want you to be better. See, when you're better, the community is better. And when the community is better, the city is better. When the city is better, the state is better. When the state is better, hopefully the country can become better. So this is a small thing that we do, but we are so excited to be here, and we hope that something that was said today will motivate you to do something. We've talked about some things, and we hope you're thinking about some things. What we'd like to see now is that you act on some things. Come out and be a part of the events. Call Paula to find out about the Renew Woodline program. Call NHS if you're interested in the MMRP and any of the other areas that I mentioned to you. Feel free to give her a call. And don't forget, you can always call NHS at 773-329-4010. And my name is Bathsheba Wyatt Draper, and it has been my pleasure to be your host this afternoon, bringing you this information. Hopefully, it if not can help you, it can help somebody, because you'll share it. I want to thank you so much. Until next time, have a blessed evening.